Cartoon Network has always been known for pushing boundaries in animation, but sometimes it went a step further and combined entire universes. From epic team-ups to subtle Easter eggs, today we're going through every major Cartoon Network crossover. The Grim Adventures of the KND. Let's start with one of the most legendary team-ups, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy crossing over with codename Kids Next Door. In the special, Grimm's magical scythe falls into the hands of the kids next door. Suddenly, the KND realize just how much power it has, and things spiral out of control. The best part? Seeing Mandy clash with Number One. Both are natural leaders, both are bossy, but in completely different ways. This crossover felt effortless, like these two shows were always meant to share the same world. Cartoon Network invaded. In 2007, CN tried something new, a 5-part event called Cartoon Network Invaded. Aliens landed across different series, including Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Camp Lazlo, My Gym Partner's a Monkey, Ed, Edd and Eddy, and The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Each show got its own invasion story, but the aliens were designed to connect them. For the first time, Cartoon Network hinted at a shared universe, years before Marvel made it cool. Ed, Edd and Eddy, and KND's secret link. Even though the Eds never got their own official crossover, there's a hidden Easter egg in codename Kids Next Door. In the episode Operation RECRUIT, you can spot the Eds' names scribbled on a list of possible operatives. It was blink and you miss it, but fans immediately caught it. This tiny detail confirmed that the Eds existed in the KND universe, proof that even subtle nods can be just as exciting as full crossovers. Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog. One of the strangest but most fitting crossovers came in 2021. Straight out of nowhere, Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog. Both series lived in that sweet spot between comedy and horror. Scooby and Shaggy's cowardice paired perfectly with Courage's constant terror. It was also one of the only times Courage returned in new content since his show ended. For longtime fans, this felt like closure and a long overdue team-up. Fusion Fall, Cartoon Network's shared universe. Now, we can't talk about crossovers without mentioning Fusion Fall. Released in 2009, this online RPG pulled together nearly every Cartoon Network series. The Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack, Dexter's Laboratory, Ben 10, Kids Next Door, and dozens more. You could explore the world, team up with characters, and fight alongside them. It was basically the Avengers of Cartoon Network. Only in video game form, fans still talk about it as one of the most ambitious crossovers ever attempted by the network. Samurai Jack and Ben 10 comic crossover. Cartoon Network also experimented with crossovers in comics. In 2013, the Super Secret Crisis War comic series united Samurai Jack, Ben 10, Dexter's Lab, Ed, Edd and Eddy, and the Powerpuff Girls. Even though it wasn't animated, it was official canon. Seeing Samurai Jack's quiet stoicism next to Ben's chaotic alien transformations was surreal. It was Cartoon Network's way of saying, yes, these worlds all exist together. Cartoon Fridays bumpers. If you grew up in the early 2000s, you probably remember Cartoon Fridays. These weekly blocks often had mini crossover bumpers, Dexter hanging out with Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken chatting with the Eds, and random meetups that weren't part of official storylines. They weren't full episodes, but they planted the idea that all these characters could interact at any time. For a kid watching back then, it was mind-blowing. Steven Universe meets Uncle Grandpa. Not every crossover was universally loved. Case in point, the Steven Universe episode Say Uncle. In it, Uncle Grandpa helps Steven unlock his powers. Some fans thought the goofy, fourth wall-breaking Uncle Grandpa clashed too much with Steven's emotional storytelling. But over time, this episode has earned cult status. It's remembered as one of CN's weirdest and boldest experiments. OKKO Crossover Nexus. Speaking of bold, OKKO, Let's Be Heroes pulled off one of Cartoon Network's most ambitious crossovers in 2018 with Crossover Nexus. The episode featured Steven Universe, Ben 10, Raven from Teen Titans Go, and KO himself teaming up. Packed with Easter eggs referencing CN's entire history, it felt like a love letter to the network. Fans still rank it as one of the greatest animated crossovers of all time. Mandy's hidden role in KND. Now here's a subtle crossover theory. In codename Kids Next Door, the episode Operation SAFETY shows the origin of the Delightful Children. Among the kids, a girl who looks suspiciously like Mandy. Fans believe this confirms Mandy grows up to be a villain in the KND universe. If true, that means Billy and Mandy and KND weren't just linked by one special, but by their entire lore. Adventure Time meets regular show. Another crossover that fans loved came in 2014, when Adventure Time and regular show collided in a 6-part comic. Mordecai and Rigby end up in the land of Ooh, where they meet Finn and Jake. What made this work so well was tone. Mordecai and Rigby's slacker comedy blended perfectly with Finn and Jake's offbeat adventures. Fans called it one of the funniest and most natural crossovers CN ever attempted, even if it never made it to TV. Billy and Mandy and Courage's near crossover. There was almost a full Courage and Billy and Mandy crossover. In a behind-the-scenes Cartoon Network promo, Courage and Billy were shown screaming together at a monster. It never turned into a real episode, but fans still debate what could have been. Considering how dark and weird both shows were, this might be one of CN's biggest missed opportunity crossovers. Teen Titans Go versus the Powerpuff Girls. In 2016, Teen Titans Go officially crossed paths with the Powerpuff Girls. The two superhero teams had to take down Mojo Jojo in a full half-hour episode. While Teen Titans Go isn't a pure Cartoon Network original, it airs on the channel, making this an official crossover. Fans were thrilled to see two iconic squads face off, even if the tone leaned silly. OKKO's Hidden Multiverse Beyond Crossover Nexus. OKKO was loaded with cameos. Captain Planet, obscure Cartoon Network one-offs, and even nods to Ghastly Tales appeared. It was CN's sneaky way of acknowledging its deep catalog, giving fans quick glimpses of a wider multiverse. Fusion Fall Legacy, The Cancelled Dream. Finally, we have the crossover that never was, Fusion Fall Legacy. This was meant to be a sequel to Cartoon Network's MMORPG, expanding the shared universe even further. Fans were excited, but the game was quietly canceled before release. To this day, people wonder how massive CN's crossover world could have become. From epic specials like Crossover Nexus to tiny Easter eggs in KND, Cartoon Network has built one of the most fascinating shared universes in animation. These crossovers weren't just fun fan service, they proved how connected these shows really were. And who knows, maybe Cartoon Network still has one last massive crossover waiting for us.